Have you ever been in Kmart, looked at a nice top and thought, yeah, it's okay. It's only $10, so I might as well buy it? Well, this modern day mindset of quantity over quality is wreaking havoc on the environment. This is about fast fashion, the term used for low price apparel that quickly appears in stores almost as soon as it comes off the runway, and the environment is paying a huge price. Australians are taking advantage of the fast fashion phenomenon, being the second largest consumer of textiles in the world, on average purchasing 27 kilos per person of garments and other fabrics annually, which is over double the global average. These clothes are often poor quality and discarded after only a small amount of wears. So how does this affect the environment? In direct response to the fast fashion boom, the modern-day textile industry is now the second highest polluter of greenhouse gases in the world, behind only the oil industry. 98% of the world's apparel is now being made in third world countries that have minimal regulations and still rely on coal as their number one energy source. As most clothing is now made offshore, garments that are in the shops have likely travelled a long distance in container ships, fueled by the dirtiest of fossil fuels. Globally, over 4 billion pounds of textile waste are being added to landfill each year. Fabric ending up in landfill wouldn't be such a big deal, except now two-thirds of the garments sold today are either partly or entirely made up from a form of polyester. Polyester is a polluting plastic made from fossil fuels. Polyester is not biodegradable and will not break down. This means that every piece of clothing containing polyester that has ever been made is still on the planet today. Cotton is one of the most commonly used materials, and although natural, it is the fourth most pesticide-intensive crop, and the cotton plant needs over 30,000 litres of water to produce 1 kilogram of cotton, meaning that 2,700 litres of fresh water is needed to make just one single plain t-shirt. The fabric dye process also requires a large amount of water. Each year, more than 2 trillion litres is used to dye textiles, and as many third world countries don't have regulations regarding polluting waterways, clothing manufacturers are dumping their dye wastewater, often untreated, full of chemicals including lead, mercury, arsenic, and a host of other toxins into nearby rivers when it reaches the sea, eventually spreading around the globe. For this inquiry topic, fast fashion and its effect on the environment, a variety of different resources were needed. The data exploration began with a Google search using keywords such as fast fashion, environment, and unsustainability. A Google Scholar search that had been linked to the Curtin University Library resulted in academically sound search results. These articles, scientific journals, and government reports are credible, and their contents have been investigated and proven. Organizations were also a good source of information, providing they were not emotionally driven, and the information on their websites were completely referenced to credible sources. The topic environment effects of fast fashion is very broad and can be linked to many different areas in the science section of the Australian curriculum. The links do become stronger and more relevant in Year 4 and 5 as the students reach an age where they become more conscious of sustainability and can independently collect and organise data, using the information to form predictions regarding future environmental impacts. What can be done? Obviously, we need clothes and we can't just stop purchasing garments, but the conscious consumer needs to buy local clothing if possible, where materials are sustainably sourced, or purchase second-hand items. Also, initiatives such as the Carbon Trust in the United Kingdom, who is working with Continental Clothing to develop the first carbon label for clothing. This will clearly state the carbon footprint of the garment and environmental impact. A quick Google search will also show the most ethical, environmental-friendly clothing companies. Consumers also need to return to the mindset of quality over quantity and only purchase clothes for a clear reason, not just because of price alone.
Created using Powtoon.